You can plate up your favorite food, or you can plate up your favorite wall. Hey, I just want to share with you this crazy idea I had. I love Monet and I love his water lily series. And one day I was in a shop and they had these water lily plates and they had a table set with them. And so I asked if there were different sizes that went along with these big platters, and they said yes. There were like 4 different or maybe even 5 different sizes for the tableware. And I went, whoa, wouldn't they be so cool laid out to look like water lilies floating on the water, but tilt them up and put them on the vertical on a wall. So I've got this wall space that's about 5 feet by 12 feet, and I wanted something that would be like a piece of art above this old dining table. This is an old banqueting table from about 1820, and I use it as a bar, and I really needed something above it, but I didn't want to do a picture or something like that. So this whole water lily idea, this water lily focused arrangement really came to me. So I really want to kind of point out the composition a little bit to you, because there was a little method to the madness. I had to work from a ladder, and I had to have someone help steady the ladder. And I had a hammer and a nail, and so I sort of played around with these. And as I mentioned, I had multiple sizes. But what I want to do is go ahead and mount my larger ones. So I used the largest ones and placed those 3 big ones and kind of established the lowest point of my composition, sort of a middle range, and I knew I could kind of go up as high as I wanted to, but I really wanted to establish that lower point and its relationship to this table. So I started about 2 feet above the top of the table with it. All right, then I went to the next size down. So it was this size plate here, here, and there. So there are 3 of those. And so then you can kind of see I was beginning to get this framework. And then I started filling in with the other 2 sizes. And between those 2 sizes, there are about 6 little ones, and there are 6 that are just slightly larger than the little ones. And so what I began to do is tuck some of them behind the leaf here and let some of them come over, just as you would find in nature. What I found in sort of laying this out, and it was done just very organically, that the negative space, the space where you see just the wall, was as important as the positive space, if you will, with the dishes themselves coming forward. And the fact that they have this undulation around the leaf, I think, really added a lot in terms of the texture and how this hangs on the wall. When people come in and see this, they think, is that one piece of art? And it's not, it's a series of these little plates. So let me just show you how I hung these. Well, first let me kind of talk about them. If you look closely, you can see they have a beautiful glaze. They're just simple ceramic dishes that are footed. They have a little foot on the back here. And what I did is use a zip tie to loop through this. So the zip tie allowed me then to take it and hang it on one of these just picture hooks that I used here. So let me try to hang this little guy back up there. You can see it's a little tight, but there you go. It just hangs like that. So it's really a simple composition, and it's just a great way to use ceramics. I mean, ceramics date back, I mean, gosh, it's crazy, like 27,000 years, I think is like the oldest piece of ceramic that we found. And these are all very new. They were recently made in China by Global Views, and I really, really like the way this hangs together and the texture that it creates. Now, this is monochromatic. It's monochromatic in that the plates are all one color. Well, they're a variation of green, which I think is lovely, set against a green wall. And the color of this wall is one called Nantucket Breeze by Benjamin Moore. Now, I want to show you a composition where I've used plates and I've hung them in a different way, and I've integrated them with some other objects. So come on, let's go upstairs and I'll show you. So this is the guest bedroom with a completely different colorway going on. These walls, I don't know if you can really tell, but they're a really soft lavender. So the composition I've created here is a compendium of lots of bits and bobs. You can see a couple of pictures here by a friend of mine who's a Mississippi artist. And now we come to the plates themselves, and you see I have a pair of them, and these are done by a local artist. And what I love is that his symbol is this little line which indicates the river, because he's very near the banks of the Mississippi River. And I love this locally made ceramic. And what you can see here is the, oops, there's the price on the back still, 48 bucks. And this has just a standard plate hanger attachment to it. And there's a little plastic liner that keeps it from crimping or chipping the plate, which is very important. And then you have the spring that runs on both sides to keep it balanced, and then the little hook there. And with this setup, they stay securely fastened to the wall like that. And what I love about it is you really don't notice how they're hanging. And a couple of other things here. I've got an old clock from the 1830s mounted on the wall there, a basket from India, a modern lamp here, a fan, and a glazed strawberry jar and a few orchids on this old Kentucky table. So that sort of creates this composition, and you can see the color themes are all sort of working. A very different use of plates on the wall than we just saw downstairs. Now, if you're enjoying some of these style ideas, share them with a friend. Make sure you subscribe to eHow Home.